topic right there. I think that's a fairly decent place to stop because I'm sure Sam has a lot he wants to say
The
about
best
this
topic?
topic,
The best topic?
the topic that he stole from me.
I did not
Uh,
steal the topic from you. Some people just aren't as aggressive on picking their topic.
Sometimes as a good host, I like to let other people choose their topics first, and I guess that's my fault.
And as a good co-host, I like to bring good content.
Fair enough,
Suck
Sam.
it.
So,
And
Sam,
with debates.
tell us what is your topic?
Okay, so my topic for the week is YouTube Red. And if you have not, red is in the color. And if you've not heard about YouTube Red, they announced it probably last week, like 5 days ago. It is basically a paid YouTube service now. So it's a subscription-based YouTube service for $9.99 a month,
It
or
launches at the end of November, right?
some stuff launches like this week,
Oh.
and then some stuff doesn't launch until January. So I'll get it. I'll get into what launches when and doesn't. $9.99 for regular people. $12.99 if you want to pay the iOS tax. Hint: just go online and buy it, and don't buy it through the Apple Store. Um, you get ad-free YouTube browsing. You get the ability to download things from YouTube for offline browsing. You get to play YouTube in the background. So basically, for anyone who likes to use YouTube as their Spotify service or their listening service, you can do that, and you can still listen to music while you do other stuff on your phone. Stuff they didn't really talk about, or there's less details about, but you also have Google Play access. You have Google Play Music access, which is a pretty good deal considering that service was $9.99 to begin with. So
Right.
if you're already paying for that, woohoo! And then there's going to be exclusive content specific for YouTube Red subscribers. So essentially, the way they put it is like 99.9% of content for YouTube will be continue to be free slash ad supported. The 0.01% of content will be paid for. So like PewDiePie has his own he's already announced that he's going to have a specific show on YouTube Red that YouTube Red subscribers will be the only ones who
So
can.
it sounds like this is kind of their attack on, not attack, but their answer to like Amazon originals or Netflix originals or things like that. This is their way of getting into that, getting their hand in that cookie jar.
Yeah, I mean, and here's where the parts get tricky. So like one, the ad free stuff comes right away. It won't be till January until they launch any of their originals. But the question becomes like, what are they really just creating a new pie to split a little bit of? And this is the part no one really understands right now. So right now, YouTube content creators get about 55% of the ad revenue pie. What they've said with Red is that the majority of Red revenue will go back to the content creators as well. So the question really becomes like, well, why did you need this additional thing if you were already going to share X amount of money with us? So there's some talk about like, is it going to be one of those situations where it's the haves versus the have-nots? Again, I think it's going to be weird for YouTube to be policing content because I'm sure people are going to go on Red, download it, torrent it, do all this other like the stuff that's unnecessary. Like, because you even think about it now, if you really want to download a YouTube video, you can. It's just not
It's
as easy as clicking a button on your phone. If you want to play things in the background, again, you can. It's just not as easy as double tapping the home button. So I guess the real question becomes like, who's this really for? Like, who? I mean, yes, YouTube content creators have been asking for a while for some sort of subscription service. The question becomes like, is this really going to benefit people, or is this really just making the rich richer from a YouTube perspective? I mean, what do you guys think?
no, I mean, I would have to agree with you, Sam. Um, like initially looking at it, I was like, oh yeah, I'll pay for that. Ad-free YouTube. That sounds good. And some exclusive content. That sounds great. And then I thought, wait, I have ad block.
Yeah,
And if people are going to be able to download this, there's going to be no shortage of torrents for me to find exactly what I'm looking for. Nah, I'm not going to spend money on this. Um, and you're absolutely right. It's like what are you doing? Are you paving the way for something in particular? Like what I'm wondering is this the first step in them trying it out to see if it works for um, YouTube gaming the same way that Twitch um, partnered streamers work? Like, is that going to be their way of figuring out how to incorporate some partnered streaming? Um, but it's beyond that. I don't know. It just seems like, oh, hey, let's try to grab money.
Yeah, and I almost wonder whether this is like somewhat of a grab at like Patreon. So have either of you used or heard of Patreon? No, no.
I have
You
not.
mean Patreon?
Yeah, Patreon. Sorry, Patreon. Yeah, there's an E in
Okay,
there.
I've heard of it. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's.
I think that to me is probably more the thing they're going to attack. The problem is this doesn't replace that.
No.
So your popular streamers who are getting support through Patreon, like they're still going to get that. Because again, this is. I have a feeling what they're ultimately going to be, what's going to be revolutionary about this is basically they're going to create a payment methodology that is better than how Spotify pays their artists. Because, if you've seen the stuff that's come out through the years, one of the biggest complaints is it's not like they take an entire bucket of money and then just
Throw it at the screen?
throw it at the screen, dump it on the screen, and associate it to who gets what type of usage and viewability. Maybe they're going to get closer to that now, where it says, look, if Ben pays $10 and he spends 60% of his time watching this content creator, 70% of it or 40% of his time watching this other content creator, let's call it $8. So YouTube cuts off the $2. 60% goes to one, 40 goes to the other. I think they may get closer to that. And that could be cool for content creators. Yeah. But again, right now it's a little bit of a black box. You don't know. Just wait for that YouTube check to show up.
Well, actually, I read an article earlier, or not an article. I listened to a podcast that Total Biscuit did, because he's actually been staying on top of this very heavily. He actually had got in contact with YouTube, and apparently, they're actually going to reduce the amount that goes to content creators. But supposedly, since there's going to be more money in the pot, content creators still will make more, but the percentage of what they will get compared to the whole will be smaller. Big name YouTubers will make more money as well, and because it's now divided by how many views you get, how long your views last, and so it is going to be. I think it's going to be a great thing for content creators, but I just don't really see that there's a market for it. I mean, most younger people our age or younger now either have ad block or torrents will download. There are plenty of, as you said, there are plenty of programs that download YouTube videos. So I don't know who they're targeting. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I think they need to figure out some other, like, just another gimmick to give the people who might do this. There's legitimately no reason to do this. Like, I keep reading it over and over, and like I'm reading the benefits, and it's just like unless the YouTube the original shows that you're talking about making are going to be like just outstanding and amazing, I don't see it mattering. Now, if they do something like, say, the next season of Video Game High School is going to be exclusively on YouTube Red, then we're going to have a problem. Because I'm going to need to watch that.
Are you... Like, you're not going to find some other way to get it? Like, you're just going to suck it up and pay $10?
Well, I mean, if I do pay $10, I'm going to pay it for 2 months while I watch that and then stop.
I mean, I also think the entire Google Play thing, I think they didn't make a big deal about that when they kind of announced it. I think that's the bigger side, right? Because now they can legitimately go after Spotify. And be like, look, Spotify, like, I'm going to give you ad-free YouTube. I'm going to give you music as well. Like, suck it.
I don't see them winning that battle at all.
Oh, me neither.
And another thing is, they're trying to make money on a website that's been free for its entire existence. I mean, I never paid a penny on YouTube, but the majority of people never have. You could buy a video, but most people don't do that. Our generation, we can download whatever we want. There's no need to pay for this. So they're just creating. They knew people had fixes for a lot of these. They know about AdBlock. They've known about AdBlock. They've tried to get around it from time to time, but AdBlock's always been one step ahead. So it's just one of those things. They're going to create a way to spend money that a lot of people are just going to ignore. There's no point in it. So good luck with them.
Yeah,
So,
and
like who? So in your guys' mind, who wins? Who wins from this?
I honestly don't think anybody.
Yeah, because again, I just don't. You know who wins from this? Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, because they're gonna sit there and watch YouTube just like flounder, trying to get. They're essentially in a fish tank that has too many fish, or not necessarily too many fish, but the fish are too big.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that YouTube is going to be able to compete with those two on original content, especially on those two. And I don't know. I mean, there's people in the chat that say YouTube might do really well, but
I mean, so I think really the people who win are the PewDiePies of the world. Like, they're going to make more money. If you're if you're the 1%, if you're sitting at the top of YouTube, you're going to be getting more money. I don't actually think YouTube wins. I think they take like 2 steps forward and 1 step back at best. And some of this is coming from the fact that like they're they're forcing content sites to like give them more rights as part of this like YouTube Red thing. Because right now it's an all or nothing. Like you either get on YouTube Red or your monetized content goes private. And so like they announced, I don't know if it was today or no, it was on Friday. Like ESPN's not going to put any of their content on YouTube now. And some of it's because they have other like rights and contracts with their content that they just can't abide by YouTube's new rules. But to me, like, I don't think that actually is a win for them. Same thing with there's some video game companies that haven't signed on yet, so some of their content is going to get flagged for takedown or for privacy. So, yeah, PewDiePie wins. Congrats.
I think YouTube has always been so successful because they stuck to their guns. They were good, very good, and they were the best at one thing. And now they're trying to get in everybody else's business. They're trying to be Spotify. They're trying to be all these other things. If they stick to their guns, they'll do great. But if they keep trying to play everybody else's game, I don't think it's gonna work out for them.
Nathan,
Yes.
micro in the chat. He doesn't want to panic you.
Uh-oh.
Okay. But someone just came and used the PC behind you,
Is
and
it a
he
ghost?
thinks it may be a burglar.
Well, as long as he hasn't shot me yet. Oh yeah, okay. If he's white, I'm good. We're good.
He is in a hoodie though, so.
Oh man, he's
the
nefarious deeds.
And he's a white guy, so he'll get away with it.
Are we sure he's not a ghost? Like, could be pretty pale. I could see him now.
It's a little scary and unnerving.
Yo, you need to get out of my house.
Can't hear you. He's a ghost.
Yep,
Exactly.
gotta be that. Gotta be
do his own thing.
Yeah, ghosts can't hear people. It's a fact in mythology that they can go.
Like,
we can hear them,
Like,
so they can be annoying, but they can't hear us.
That's the reason why they're actually going woo so much. They're actually saying, I can't understand you.
We just don't unfortunately teach ghost language in school anymore, so a lot of people have a hard time understanding it. It's a travesty.
You know why, Nate? It's because it's a dead language.
See what you did there, and I gotta award that one. That was like.
All right, Sam. What else? Is there anything else you want to add into YouTube Red?
I mean, I think you guys have answered the questions I've had, which is, will you be subscribing to YouTube Red?
Most likely not.
No. Who wins? Who's not the consumer really? No, I mean, I think that's it. I think it'll be interesting to see how things play out for them, just because they are so big, and what is it going to mean in the long run? But at the end of the day, I could see this being a flop for Alphabet, for Google. Something that they'll maybe eventually go away from. And again, I think I don't know. I mean, I think ad block does really cut into what they do, but there's still plenty of people who watch ads on YouTube and don't care. So
this is true. And real quick, for anyone that gives me shit about the puns, I love terrible puns. And I will always do
is
them.
a terrible pun.
As long as this show is on Twitch and on the channel, I will always make bad puns.
So, but for like the next 10 minutes, you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.